Hey, we're back. Cut 2 for accurate dimensional lumber with the chainsaw. Let me just show you, once again, that first cut we did, dead flat as can be. And so that's what you want, because if you're going to use this surface to reference all your subsequent cuts, you want it to be straight. So that's good. By utilizing that slabbing rail with the adjustable bolts, and you can get it just right, it gets nice and flat. Let me just point out something here too with the chainsaw mill. I originally got this Granberg Alaskan mill. It's a 36-inch setup back in 2010. It's currently 2021. And one thing I did this past year was I upgraded to these new style Cnc Made Brackets, and they claim that they're more accurate and there's less vibration. And I'm telling you what, I think they're accurate on both points. I absolutely can tell you that they are they're easier to adjust than the previous cast units. You got your increments right here. But also, as far as the anti-vibration, I very well could be too, you know, that reduce a little bit of vibration, and that's always a good thing. But so, we slabbed off the top here, so we got a nice flat reference surface, and I'm going to come down here and go ahead and make the bottom cut. You may have noticed, like on my first cut there, I just had pieces like this wedged in the side to hold the log in place. These are just branches that sometimes you have to cut off whenever you're, you know, kind of preparing the outside of the trunk. A lot of times I'll just sit them in there just to keep the thing from rocking. I find that a lot of times you really don't need to worry too much about it rocking. I mean, yeah, it can rock, but if you're keeping your chainsaw mill just flat, really the thing don't rock. So anyways, I take them out because, you know, it'll probably cut them because I'm going to be like way down here. These particular log supports are just logs that have the top and the bottom surface flat, and you can stack them on top of each other. They weigh about 35 pounds a piece, so you can stack them however high you want, and they're very, very stable. And the nice thing about them is if you do happen to make a mistake and cut into them, it's not a big deal. Where if that was made out of metal or aluminum or something, you might you might have a little bit more of an issue with that. So let me slap my earplugs in. And we'll get. I already set the Alaskan to 9.5 inches, so it'll reference that.
The saw has been warmed up.
I think our cat wanted to get in on a little bit of chainsaw milling today. Oh, he's my boss. He's sitting there watching.
Here comes boss number 2. That's our Nala.
When you're doing the whole log like this, it adds a little bit more weight, so you want to put your wedges in. I'll tell you what, let me roll it over to the edge just a little bit here. Slap a couple more in. That just keeps the weight off the chain and the bar from pinching it. Let that idle out a second, and I'll go ahead and take my wedges out. I'll try to, because I don't want to crack them. Pull this over. I'll take a little bit of weight off of it. Alright, got the wedges out. Now, I just take this, slide down off of there. Let me shut that saw off. I like to just let it idle for a second. Clean out the... Alright, so we got the top surface, we got the bottom surface, and we could either now get a few boards cut, or we can get out the edging mill and mount it on here and just run a straight edge all the way down one side. It gives us that option. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a couple boards out of here. You know, the regular whatever 3/4 or 7/8 inch boards that I'll use for the sides of my goat enclosures. And then when I get closer down to the center of the log, which is potentially unstable as far as the drying and flexing and everything, I'm going to square it off, and I'm going to make some 4x4s. This would be quarter sawn wood off to the sides of the center. So I need some like either 3.5, maybe 4-inch posts. So I'll take a couple slices here, get the boards, and then take the center, and I can either edge now or edge later. See, if I edge now, see, here's the corner, and it would go down to about here. I'm losing about that much stuff, where if I wait, you know, I may be picking up an extra inch or so. It don't really matter, it just depends. I mean, this was a tree that would have just sat in the woods and rotted away, so anything you can get from it is better than nothing. But when you're out doing it, you think, hey, I might as well get as much yield out of the thing as possible. All right, well, that's our second cut. Now we have a top and a bottom surface that's flat. You say, well, you know, how accurate is it? Well, 9.5 there, 9.5 there. I mean, it shouldn't vary at all. That's the thing about having a Alaskan mill, an Alaskan mill that's supported here and here. If you have a solid bar, not a laminate bar, 9.5, 9.5. If you have a solid bar, it's not really going to flex, at least, you know, in this length of bar. I've never personally used like these 7-foot long bars or anything like that. I primarily prefer this. Let me show you something else. This is something, see this? I just milled through 8 feet of southern yellow pine. It's totally cool to the touch. I mean, I've milled hardwood where literally your hand would be fried if you touch that thing. There's so much moisture in this wood, and it keeps it cool right there. That is probably one of the things that helps keep it cool. Poor guy, the worm that was eating it. All right, there we go. That's our second cut.